Hello, and welcome to Jack of All Things Disney, a podcast created to satisfy your Disney craving. I am your host, Jill Sutton, and thank you so much for joining today. This has been just kind of a fun venture, a little side project of mine that I have thought about doing, and I'm just excited to actually be getting these podcasts out. My plan with the podcast is just to release an episode every other week. So it is not going to be a weekly podcast. It's just not doable in my life right now, maybe someday. But right now, I have on guests that just want to talk about Disney. So if you're interested at all in being on the podcast, I highly encourage you to sign up. There's a few questions that you can fill out on my website. It is at jillgsutton.com/Disney, and you'll find a few type form questions there. I will link it below in the show notes as well as in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. So I would love to have you. It's very casual. There are a few components of each podcast episode. One is just some rapid fire Disney questions that are your Disney favorites. So favorite ride, favorite resort, favorite park, just things like that. They're super simple. And if you're a Disney fan at all, really easy to answer. You can opt out of any part of the podcast. If you don't want to do that part, then that's fine. If you have something in particular that you're really passionate about that you want to talk about, just tell me in the intake form, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm also all for return guests. So if you have a trip coming up that you want to just kind of bounce ideas off of or talk about, and then you want to come back and share how that went, I am all for that. If you are a travel agent and maybe you have a trip coming up where you are going to learn about a specific thing and you want to come back and share that information, would love that. I'm also going to be intermixing a bunch of solo episodes. I myself have just signed up for my very first Disney cruise. So part of my YouTube channel is going to be kind of the steps of signing up for your first Disney cruise and what are the things that you want to know about and when you want to know about them. A lot of times with Disney, when they release dates or things that are available to sign up for, they go rather quickly. And if you're not prepared and if you don't know those dates and deadlines, you miss a lot of opportunities that are included with the cost or maybe even extra, but with your trip. So I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of videos on that before we sail. And yeah, so again, if you want to be on the podcast, please go ahead and apply. Another optional portion of the podcast is a trivia question. Now, what I love about this, and I kind of explained it a little bit further in the episode today because our guest Caroline participated in the trivia. And basically, I have 3 categories of trivia questions that you can choose from. You're going to get one question. So you can either choose movies, in the parks, or Disney history. And then I'm going to ask you a question. If you get the question right, you have the option. You can either donate to the podcast or you can nominate another guest. So somebody else that you know in the Disney community that may like to be on the podcast, you can nominate them to come on the podcast. If you get it wrong, you have to donate. And there's no limit that I know of. It is donating through PayPal. So there may be like a dollar limit. I'm not really sure. And it's all anonymous. So nothing, I'm not going to be sharing who donated. If you say you donated and it was not very much, I'm not going to share any of that. That's all going to be private, confidential. But those donations are not only going to go to the operating costs of the podcast, but they're also, I am going to be taking 33% of all donations that come in for the podcast and sending that right back out to Make-A-Wish Foundation Disney trips. So they have a specific site that is Make-A-Wish for family members that are wanting to take these magical Disney trips. And I felt like 33% was a wonderful idea of what I can send back out. So depending on how the podcast goes and how the funds come in, we'll either be donating quarterly, biannually, or annually. So we will figure that out as we go. Like I said, this is only the second episode, so a lot of things to be worked out. But those are 2 main things that I do that I'll probably weave in through every podcast episode. Again, you can opt out of any of them. That's on the intake form if you want to participate or not. I will not judge you either way. This is all for fun for me right now. And there you have it. So I'm really excited about our guest today. It is Caroline McGinnis. She is a mama and a travel agent with Mickey World Travels, and she is offering a wonderful little promotion. So stay tuned to listen to the end to hear all the details on that. Enjoy. Hi, Caroline. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm pretty excited. I think I just let you know that you were my second guest on the podcast, so I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, congratulations on getting started. I don't know
Thank
who
you.
wouldn't want to talk Disney. So
That was kind of my thought too. I was just like, I don't know, I just need that outlet. And I think it's just going to help me more than it might help anyone listening. But I do also want to try to provide information to other people. So I would love if you would just share who you are and maybe your connection to Disney and how you maybe either fell in love with it or a recent story or something along those lines.
sure. So I'm Caroline. I am married to my husband. We have two kids. One is 5 and the other is 3. When I'm not planning Disney trips for myself or my clients, I am also a nurse. And my connection to Disney started back when I was 5. My family took our first trip there. I have a sister who's younger, so we went on just like the 4 of us, and then we kept going back. And I think, you know, growing up with Disney in my life just made me so excited to then take my own family. So now that's Disney has become, Walt Disney World specifically has become like our number one vacation destination. So my children have been lucky to visit multiple times, and it's been really special to watch them fall in love with it just like I did, and still enjoy it now too, and just to experience all those things alongside of them, and watch Disney World grow up with us as our family grows up too. It's really a place for everyone, of all ages. So uh, yeah, that's kind of what my connection to Disney is. It's mostly from visiting Disney World, and then of course all of the movies and now TV shows. They just keep expanding, and as a family, we just really love to delve into that.
It's crazy to see how much it has changed. Like, I feel like more than
Yeah.
ever now, it's just like something new coming out all the time.
Yes. Yep. I know. We're into Bluey and all of the new Disney Junior shows, but then my kids are also like starting to watch Phineas and Ferb and some of the shows that have been around for a while. So
Mhm.
those, the movies, the classics, the classic TV shows, they still transcend and resonate today, which is really cool. They're
Oh
timeless,
yeah.
basically.
When I first married my husband, we had 2 fish named Phineas and Ferb. And that was
It's a fun,
years ago.
yeah, exactly. And it's still it's still like my kids they love it. So it's cool to that's one part of my childhood they really can do. So much in the world has changed since I was a kid, but that's one part that's they can still experience the same way I did. So it's neat.
That's awesome. All right. I wanted to do some rapid fire questions with you just to kind of get to know you a little bit more. These are
Sure.
all Disney related. And obviously, you are Disney World. That's where
Hmm.
you usually visit. Okay. So
Yeah.
which one is your favorite park as far as Animal Kingdom, Epcot, Magic Kingdom?
My favorite park is Animal Kingdom. Yep, that's my favorite. I love uh the atmosphere. I love the food there. um, some of the rides there are my favorite. So yeah, that's my Animal Kingdom.
Love the shade there.
Yeah. There's some secret spots that I like to share with
Yeah.
people, but they can get kind of quickly.
That's awesome. Um, are you a rope dropper?
Yes, I am. Um, I I am. My family just goes along with it. But yeah, rope drop all the way. Rope drop, and I like to take a midday break. Those are my two.
Yeah, I'm definitely rope dropper as well. I'm definitely the planner as well of the family. So it's like whatever I decide to put in place, everyone's pretty willing to go along with it.
Yeah.
Mm. Stay until park close.
We try right now with young kids, it's hard. Definitely when it was just my husband and I, we were rope drop all the way to park close. Right now we get as far as we can. And if they fall asleep in the stroller, then we just keep going. So
Yeah, I have two girls and they're similar in ages to yours. So I have a 5-year-old and a almost 3-year-old. And so the last time we went in December, they were, yeah, 2 and not even 5 yet. So, yeah, it's hard those late hours, especially if they're open later. It's like you want them to see the fireworks and you want them to experience that stuff, but it's like, ooh, a
I
couple
know,
hours
because then
past
if you're going to
normal
get up and
bedtime.
right, and if you're going to get up and rope drop the next morning, then you could run into cranky kids.
Yes,
So,
yeah. Yeah. Um,
which I always tell them, no one's allowed to cry at Disney or be cranky at Disney. It's
that's
not
right. It's
allowed.
all happy, all happy all
Yeah.
the time. I
Uh-huh.
definitely can tell like when they just need to get out and run around and stop like the grind of like, all right, next ride, because that's how we've always done it, is
Yes.
like see how much we can pack in one day, and then it's like you
Yeah,
realize, okay, these little legs don't want to be in the stroller anymore. They want to like run in the lawn. So
exactly. Yeah. One of our favorite spots is the jumping fountains in
mm,
Epcot.
mhm.
And like it's the simplest thing, but just getting over there, they can run around, maybe get a little sprinkle of wet, and then it's like that's their reset.
They often say like the things that are free or that you aren't like thrilled about, like maybe like the hotel pool or whatever, that's what the kid remembers. Like that's
Oh
what they
yeah.
want to
Yeah.
do, and that's what they remember, not like
Yeah.
meeting Mickey is so
I
important.
know.
It's just
I
like,
know.
no, the pool, that was the best part.
Uh-huh. The rest of it's just for us to remember.
Right. It's true, it's true.
Yeah.
um Favorite thrill ride.
Oh, okay. So I would normally say Tower of Terror.
Mm.
But I just went back in April. My husband and I did a trip. We ran the 10K at the Springtime Surprise. So we just went, just the two of us. And we went on Guardians of the Galaxy. That was my first time on Guardians of the Galaxy. So now I think that's my favorite.
That one
Um,
is pretty awesome.
I don't even know how to explain. So we also had gone in January, and I was really nervous about getting motion sick. I had read some people had motion sickness problems, so I kind of chickened out last minute. And my daughter, she was like, "That's fine, Mom. I'll take your lightning lane and go twice." So she got to go twice. But I'm so glad I did it in April because it's just I don't even know how to describe it, but it
Mm.
is like probably the best thrill ride I've ever been on.
Yeah, yeah. Favorite kiddie ride.
Ooh, that is going to have to be Dumbo, classic Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Especially if you can get like there either during fireworks or when the sun is setting over the castle. It's just like perfect,
Oh my
picturesque,
goodness. Yeah, it's like
and for
straight up,
everyone.
yeah, nostalgia in the Disney parks.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Favorite character to meet.
Hmm. I think I really enjoy meeting Minnie over by Dumbo actually when in her circus or her little, I think it's like a magnifique outfit that she has on.
Hmm.
Over it's the Pete Silly sideshow, I believe, is where you can meet Minnie and Daisy there. And Daisy's a fortune teller, and Minnie's kind of in this little pink dress with her poodles all by her, and that's just my favorite. It's very cute photo op, and I mean Minnie's a classic, and she always gives the best hugs. So
Yeah, I don't think we have gone in there yet because the last two times we went to Disney, it was 2020 and things were shut down, and then December
uh-huh.
of 2022. And I don't think the characters were meeting under there
Yeah, I
again
we went
yet.
January 2023, and I think it had just reopened because I remember being excited
Yeah.
that it was open. Yeah. So
Okay, so we'll have
that's a good
to
one.
put that on our
Yes.
list.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good one.
Very cool. Favorite princess to meet.
That is gonna have to be classic Cinderella.
Hmm.
I love meeting Cinderella. She's always been my favorite princess. And I just love Cinderella.
Yeah. Favorite place to stay.
Wilderness Lodge.
Mm.
It's my favorite. That is the place where I stayed for the first time when I was a kid, and we've been back a couple times since then. I love the lobby. I mean, it's gorgeous. I love
Yeah.
that you can take the watercraft over to Magic Kingdom.
Hmm.
That's a fun way. I mean, my son, he's 3-year-old. He's all about boats, so that's a fun way to travel. The pool is really nice. They have a great kids splash area, and then the dining options there. I really like Whispering Canyon Cafe. It's always fun. Um, and then now the storybook dining with Snow White's there, which is a fun character meal because you can meet the evil queen, which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
And when my husband and I went, just the two of us, we stayed there and we actually went to Territory Lounge a couple nights just to have like a pre-dinner drink. So I think it just has something for everyone. And then obviously the ambiance and atmosphere is just it's like perfectly decorated and
Yeah.
yeah.
We got to stay there. That's where ended up where we stayed in 2020 at the Copper Creek DVC part.
Yes.
My cousins are
Yep.
DVC members, and so we were able to stay because I think Wilderness Lodge was closed during they were doing a
Okay.
lot of refurbishments during that year or two.
Mhm.
I don't know how long it lasted,
I
but I know the
know.
hotel part was closed, but we still, you walk in through the main lobby and again, that was just weird times. A lot of things were closed, but that we loved it. And then I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, which I know it's kind of like
Oh, okay.
takes
Yeah,
after
moved
that.
after
So
that.
that
Uh-huh.
was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Just like was like
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Favorite table service.
My favorite table service, I think I'm going to stick with the storybook dining
Mhm.
at Artist Point. One, I love the characters, Snow White, Grumpy, and Dopey and the Evil Queen. But I also like the way that they do the food there. It's kind of they bring out the appetizers, and it's like small little bites that you can share, and then you your meal, and then same with the desserts. And I think it's a unique character create. It's perfectly themed. The food's good, so that like checks everything off for me.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't done that one yet. So that'll also be added to the list. How
Yes,
about favorite quick service?
that's gonna be Setuli Canteen in Pandora. I love the build your own bowls. Those are really good. I like usually getting the green bowl with like chicken and you can pick your own sauce. Um, and I mean, I love visiting Pandora in general, and that's a good, you can go, if you order there, you can eat inside. So that's like a great air conditioning break too, if it's really hot.
I have heard
Um,
that. I have heard
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's so nice when it's, because Animal Kingdom, always the hottest park and middle of the day, and you just want to eat and not be like sweating into
Right,
your meal. So
right.
yeah, that's a good place to go.
Favorite snack.
The Mickey bar, the Mickey
Mm,
premium ice cream bar. Always my
so
go-to.
good.
Have to have one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. Favorite
Uh-huh.
drink.
Hmm. I think anything that I can try that's new at any of the festival booths at Epcot.
Hmm.
I'm not like super picky, but they just have so many things to choose from. And I've been to a couple of festivals and still haven't checked everything off my list. But yeah, anything from any of those booths.
There is so much. And I feel,
I
it's
know.
like it's kind of like the land of festivals now. It's like literally one ends and another
Yes.
one begins. And so it's just
Uh-huh.
constantly like there's just something new to try all the time. I don't know how anyone would
Yes.
get it all done.
I know. And I always have these like high hopes of all these things that like food I'm gonna try, drinks I'm gonna try. And then you have like three different things and I'm like, okay, I'm done for the day. I'm full.
Yeah,
So
you end up getting full so fast. Yeah, I have like a OneNote and I'll keep like things that I want to try and where it's at, like in it. And
yeah, that's smart.
I end up getting there that day and like maybe doing one of them, maybe two. Like it's just,
Uh-huh.
it
Yeah,
is
right.
overwhelming. And you just kind of, I don't know, there's a certain part of you that like wants to like hit all the things that you want to hit, but there's a certain part of you that's like, I'm on vacation. Like, so you
Yes.
kind of like
I
let
wanna
go of some of that stuff
yeah,
too. So
exactly. Go with the flow. And there's always a couple favorites that I'm like, oh, I did that last time. I still end up coming
mhm.
back to it. So
Yeah, yeah. What about favorite like souvenir or merch? Is there anything you like have to get every time you go?
um I think previously, no, I was never like super into merch, but now like having kids, my daughter just got into pin trading. and
Mm.
on our last trip that we went as a family in January. And so then I was like, well, I want to do it too. So now I'm starting to get into that and finding unique pins, um, and then finding people who want to trade. And I'm glad that's back because I know for a while they weren't doing that after COVID. So yeah, pin trading is probably pins or lanyards because they're all really cute. So I can see how you can just like Loungefly backpacks. I can see how you
Yeah,
can start to collect them, but at
I
least
know.
the lanyards and pins aren't quite
You're right.
as much of an investment.
Or take up space. I was gonna say there's mine over there.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, there
we
you go. Yep.
we started doing it just this year, and actually not even on our trip. It was almost like after our trip.
Uh-huh.
I ended up buying like a lot off Amazon. They're not like the Disney official necessarily, but just so because my girls are young and they don't care right now, but just so you
Right.
can have some like different things. And then I just figured like that would be maybe fun to add into our trip as like
Yeah.
something. I didn't realize that like the hotels in the lobbies, usually like behind where you check in, they have like a board. So like if you walk up to one of the cast members working there, they can like show you the board and you can pin trade right there. So I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. They also have the boards in Epcot, like in the different countries. I've noticed a couple of like where the Kid Cot stations are.
Mm-hmm.
They have some boards there too. So it's just you never know what you're gonna find. And it's just a fun like side activity to do as you're,
Oh yeah.
touring. So
Yeah. That's cool. Is there any like is there like anything that you like have to do every time you go? Like a certain ride or a certain like
I have to do Haunted Man. I have to ride Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom. Funny story. That was actually my daughter. We took her for the first time when she was 8 months, and that's the first ride at Disney World she ever went on. So she wasn't scared because she's 8 months, so she never
right.
understand what was going on. But it's funny now when we take her and she's like, "Oh, this is kind of scary." I'm like, "You went on this as a baby. You're fine." So we have to ride Haunted Mansion for sure, and I I have to see at least one nighttime show.
Mm,
Like we were talking about how it can be hard to keep the kids up, but I have to see at least one. And now that Happily
mhm.
Ever After is back, that's usually my go-to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm so happy that it's back. We even watch it at home on YouTube. We'll find it and the kids will sit there at night and we'll watch it. So
Hmm.
it's a good one.
That was something that we would actually play on YouTube anytime we were in the car with my oldest daughter when she was young. And we would just prop it up in her car seat and she would fall asleep watching the fireworks. It was
Oh,
so funny. She'd just request the fireworks. She wanted to watch the fireworks. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's sweet.
we have watched that several times.
Yeah. They'll be, this is the part when, the pirates come, or they know exactly when it's gonna happen. So
Oh yeah. So you are a Disney runner.
yes,
So you know who the balloon ladies are.
I do know who the balloon ladies are. Yes.
Never met
Try
them.
to avoid them. Yeah.
Right, right. Never met them, but
Yeah.
I just always think that's funny. It's like a whole
I
nother
know.
Disney
I kind of want
ladies,
to know how
Disney
you get that
runners.
job. I want to know how you get to be a balloon lady. I bet there's a long list to be the balloon
There,
ladies.
I bet you there is. I bet you, like, if
Yeah.
it wasn't official before, it probably is by now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, they do have they have to keep that pace. Like they have to be focused and know that they can
Yeah.
walk I guess it's like 16-minute mile or whatever it is.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah.
That is too
Nope,
funny.
haven't met them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did my first marathon was in Disney. My
Uh-huh.
sister-in-law and I were running and we had been doing a bunch of halves and both of us on a training run one day we were like parking in a parking lot to go run some trails and we saw like the Disney sticker on someone's car that had the 26.2 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And we were kind of at first we were like, puh, puh, like who would run a marathon? Like they're so
Uh-huh.
cool. They're running marathons. And like literally as we were like walking out of the parking lot, both of us were like, if I ever ran a marathon, it would be a Disney one. And like within the year we were signed up for the Disney
Yes.
marathon.
So the 10K was our first Disney run. I really only got into running after my youngest. Was born June 2020. And so then when he was there wasn't much to do, right? Like everyone's home.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I guess I'll start running. So the 10K was my first Disney race. And I got home like, think I'm gonna do the Wine and Dine half marathon, and I can just see how it's like an addiction.
Oh my
The
goodness.
atmosphere there is so different from any other race that you can
Mm-hmm.
run.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great excuse to take a Disney trip.
Mm-hmm.
And the costumes and the character meets, and
Yeah,
it's like a whole another aspect of Disney.
it
So
really is. It really is. And runners are such a weird type of people. Like,
yeah.
we're like running and everyone's like, that's why would you torture yourself like that? And it's like, we just kind of have this like pleasure and pain, I guess. So it's like
Yes.
waking up at
Yeah.
all hours of the night to like get on a
Right.
bus to go
Right,
like
exactly, that's a whole nother portion of it, like 3 a.m. wake up call, and then you're standing there waiting, and then you run, and
you literally
yeah,
stand there for like 2 hours.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
My goal is to get, like, a B corral for the half, because my I was in C corral for the 10K, and, I was just like, "Okay, is it my turn yet? I just wanna do it. I just wanna do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I want those fireworks to go off so I can start running." So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Totally worth it though.
yes, yeah, and the medals are really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Oh, that's so fun. All right. So that's kind of like all the rapid fire questions I have for you.
Yeah.
But so you are a Disney travel agent.
I am, yes. So I am a independent travel consultant with Mickey World Travel. I actually just started with them back in May, but I was pretty much doing what I'm doing now for family and friends.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
people are like, oh, you're going to Disney, then get in touch with Caroline, because she's kind of what they see. We're there all the time, and so I really love it. I love helping people plan their vacations so it's not stressful, because obviously there's so much information to take in when you're
Hmm.
planning a Disney trip, and a lot of people are doing their once in a lifetime, want everything to go
Hmm.
smoothly. And so um, I just want my clients to feel the magic that I do every time I go. So that's my goal, with helping them plan their vacations for their family or friends or whoever they're traveling with. And
So
it's
fun.
very rewarding to see how excited people are about the process, and then when they come back and tell you or show you pictures and things like that. So
Yeah, my sister went for spring break and of course I was like, how can I go with them? Because we had just gone in
yeah.
December and I was like, there's no way we can go
I
again like
know.
3 months later. But
Yeah.
like every day I was like tracking her on my phone to see where she was. And like
Uh-huh.
I remember one day I was like, um, go over and get spring rolls at Adventureland. Like, 'cause she was like in Adventureland. And I was like, before you leave out of there, like go get spring rolls right here. And I like literally like drew on the map and circled it and
Gosh.
was like showed her like path to get there. And like her and her husband, my brother-in-law, were like, you should do like some sort of concierge service where you like literally just maybe even from a distance, like help get
Right.
fast passes or not fast passes, Genie
Uh-huh.
Plus
Yeah.
now and
Gene Plus. Yep. I know.
get reservations at dining and things like that. And I was like, that would be really fun to just do something like that. But I was like, I don't know, because it is obsessive, it's a bit obsessive fixation to like be doing all this stuff because I love it. But at the same time, I'm like,
Yeah.
that would take over my life. Like I would literally do nothing
Oh
else.
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
I will say, like, it sounds so cliche. I never believed, like, truly, I mean, everyone loves what they do, but like this is something that, like, I really don't feel like I'm working. I'm just telling people about how wonderful Disney vacations can be, and then helping them be wonderful for them. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's really fun.
that is so cool. Um, do you have any like times that you've been at Disney where you've experienced like the Disney magic, like someone did something like special for you, or I don't know, just an experience that was absolutely wonderful?
Uh I guess this is when people say Disney magic, this is what I would think of. And I feel like it was pretty organic. Like, it wasn't like something, like, we weren't pixie dusted per se, but when we
Mhm.
went in May of I say this, I'm like, we've been a lot recently, but we went in
Right.
May of 2022. This was the trip that had been planned for December of 2020, and then COVID shut everything down, and we finally rescheduled to May of 2022. And my son's first Disney trip, and we were at Anna and Elsa, the meet and greet in Epcot,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
there was this little boy behind us who had like his face painted like a pirate, and it was really cool, but it freaked my son out. He every time he looked in that little boy's direction, he started screaming, and he was almost 2, and just was terrified, like was becoming a scene. I was almost said to my husband, like, we should probably get him out because other people are trying to meet Anna and Elsa, right? And we got up to go meet them, and he just ran up to Elsa and gave her the biggest hug, and she just held him. She just for like a good 2 to 3 minutes rubbed his back, like whispered in his ear
Oh.
to calm him down, and it was just the sweetest moment. And he just needed a hug from Elsa for everything to be okay. And Elsa was so like just so kind, and could have
Mhm.
easily just been like, okay, keep go
Keep it
back to
moving.
mommy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But like she took the time with him. I don't know what she said to him, but whatever she did it was enough. And so I think that's like the example that I try to, or the story I try to tell to people when they say, why do you keep going to Disney? And I'm like, well, because where
Mhm.
else can you get an experience like that or interaction like that, or you really feel like they care about, about making your day or making you happy or doing whatever they can do
Mhm.
to help your family, or I don't know how to else to describe it, but
Yeah.
it's just unique. And then my daughter, who's older, is like, Elsa made you feel better. Like she really was
She
into
got it.
it. And yeah, and he may not have, but like she still talks about that today. So you're just making those memories, and it's just magical.
Those cast members, I'm telling you, they are phenomenal and they stay in character and they can
Yeah.
handle like any situation. I don't know how they're trained like that, but like, I mean, I'm sure they have so many like awkward or weird or whatever, and they just go with it. Like
Roll with it.
everything's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And one of my favorite things to do, which I guess it's kind of new since they got the My Disney Experience app, but I love doing those cast compliments
Mm,
that you can do on that app. Not even just for like character, but anyone working at a register or your waitress or waiter, you can just go in there and write their name, where if you notice where they're from, and a reason why you want to compliment them. And I love doing that because
hmm
I
hmm
know that working in the service industry is probably not always the most thankful
Right,
job. So if
right.
I can, pay it forward or pay it back to them, or however you want to talk it, I love to give cast compliments whenever something special happens. Or
Yeah, that just came out too recently, also, isn't it? The in the My Disney
yeah,
Experience app.
I want to say within the last year or so. At least that's the first time I noticed it. I had never
Yeah,
noticed it before. So
I remember hearing about it, but from a couple people, and I don't think that it was running when we were there in December, I want to say. So I feel like it's like
yeah,
within the last year at least.
yeah. Mhm. It's nice that
Wow.
they added that so you can kind of recognize cast members too, because
To make it
they do.
easier.
Yeah, right. Instead of having to go to guest services or
Right.
whatever you want to do,
Right.
right? They do they do a good job of going above and beyond, or just
hmm
maybe even just making you smile in a certain way or something like that.
Right.
So
Right. Any tips, like anything that is like your favorite tip for travel?
my favorite, I mean, I always say like with Disney road trips, plan, but then also be flexible, because you
hmm
never know weather, crowds, what your
hmm
family's going to want to do. So that's always like my standard tip. But then I like to give tips about like certain things that maybe families don't know are there, activities that maybe they don't know are there. Like one of my favorite things to do as a family, and then also to suggest, is when you're at Magic Kingdom, if you're over in Adventureland, there's the Pirates Adventure. It's like a little building. You go in and you can scan your band or your card or your phone, whatever you have, pick a pirate treasure map, and you go on this interactive treasure hunt with Jack Sparrow and throughout the Pirates of the Caribbean Adventureland area, and help him find the missing treasure. And there's like 5 different maps you can choose from. And I just think some things like that maybe aren't super advertised are included with your admission. They're an extra cost, and they're a good, break from rides, or if you're waiting on your that next lightning lane to come up. It gives you something to do as a family. So I like to find little things like that that are, or the wilderness explorers at Animal Kingdom, you know,
Mhm.
something that um, is meant for families and is lets you have a little bit of a downtime, but is still an activity to do. So
Yeah, I didn't know about that. The pirate adventure one. That's
yes,
really good
yeah,
to know.
yeah, and you can keep the little treasure map. My kids still play treasure
Hmm. Hmm.
pirates whenever at home. And I think if you complete all 5 maps, you get some kind of like autograph card from Jack Sparrow, and you can start and stop. So you can start the adventure, and then if you're going to come back the next day, because it's all,
Hmm.
you know, connected to your Magic Band or your Key to the World card, or it's
That
pretty
also
cool.
seems like a good idea, especially if somebody is doing like rider swap and
Yes, yeah,
isn't on the
yeah,
ride that
because
time and you're waiting for them to come off.
right, yeah, especially if you're waiting with your young non-rider who could be younger and antsy and
Hmm.
needs
Hmm.
something to do. Yeah.
Yeah, because you definitely, yeah, a lot of those times it's like, okay, you're using the bathroom and then you're like letting them walk around a little bit or whatever. But yeah, that would be a nice little thing to do over in that area. That's
Yeah,
cool. I didn't
it's
know about
fun.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna ask, um, are you someone who does memory maker?
I've done it once actually, and
Hmm.
I liked it a lot, but for us, it's just we just choose to take our own pictures,
Hmm.
and then I mean there's a cost, so we just were like we'll spend our money on something different. But um, I always suggest it, especially if families want more pictures. I feel like
Hmm.
we go so frequently that we have a lot of pictures already. But if this is like your big trip, then totally you should get it because there's so many opportunities for photos, and the
Hmm.
magic shots are cool, and uh, it definitely makes sense instead of going in and trying to buy individual days worth of pictures from the app. So
Yeah, we've done it both ways. We've done trips where we have like totally not done it and that was fine. And then we've
mhm.
done, I think the last two, maybe we have used it. And the reason I like it is because I'm usually the photo taker. So I'm like, I
Yeah,
get to be in a
yeah,
picture if they take a picture of
exactly.
me. So
Yes,
I
that's
do like
true.
it in that sense. And I do think they're doing more with it now. Like
Yeah.
before it was kind of like, end of ride photos and a few in the parks. And even after COVID, there wasn't as many photographers back yet in the park. So you couldn't like
Mhm.
find as many. And the last time we went, they were everywhere. Like it would be like one
Yeah.
right after the other, just like how it used to be. So it's kind of like you
Right.
had a lot more
Right.
opportunities to use that service.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's nice, especially I think with the character beats too, because sometimes that can be overwhelming for
Hmm.
the kids. You're trying to get them up there. They're talking, you're handing a autograph book, and then you got to
Hmm.
make sure someone's taking pictures, but they're there doing all of that for you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's really nice for that. And I do love now that you can get the ride photos with the Genie Plus purchase. I think
Yeah. I think that's
that's a
such a good
nice
add-on.
addition.
Yeah. They did good with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Because some of those
um,
pictures are hilarious.
yes. If not to like frame, at least to look at and have a good laugh.
Yes, exactly.
So true. Okay, so Caroline, you have opted to partake in trivia, and I'm so excited. So let me find a couple of my questions here, and I have categories if I can
Okay.
find them. Okay, so your category to choose from. I'm just going to give you one question, but your category to choose from is in the parks, movies, or history. Which do you prefer?
I think I'm gonna do movies.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I know.
It's all for
Okay,
a good cause, right?
it's all for a good cause. Yeah. So the reason I added on the trivia is because I wanted this podcast to be connected to something bigger. And right now I am just going to be partnering with Make-A-Wish Foundation. So like any donations that come in to support the podcast, I'm going to do 33% back out to Make-A-Wish Foundation. The way I'm going to be doing it is my guests can opt to participate in trivia. And if you get the question right, you can choose to donate money or nominate another guest to come on the podcast. If you get the question wrong, then you have to donate, and it's any amount. I mean, it could be like, 5 cents to whatever you want. So it's not like locked in, and it's all anonymous. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, they only donated this much. So, if it's $1, that's fine. Like, it's just all going to be going into this pot and then going back out. And that obviously like helps with costs of running the podcast, paying for the little things like Zoom and stuff like that to keep it going. And yeah, so it should be just a fun way to be able to donate to Make-A-Wish Foundation too. So, okay. So my question for you is, what was the first Pixar movie?
First Pixar movie. I'm going to say Toy Story, but I don't know if that's right.
It is right.
Oh,
Toy Story.
Okay.
Good job.
I'm like, is there one that came before? I know Toy Story was early on, but
yeah, I was shocked when I actually saw that. I was like, oh, Toy Story. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so definitely going to donate because that is such a great cause, Make-A-Wish, especially because they do so many things with Disney for, wish trips. And you always, I know a lot of people pick those as their trips. So
yes. Oh, so many people. Yeah, they actually have a page completely like, it's like Make-A-Wish / Disney. Like they have like their own kind of page with Disney. So to donate to the podcast, going to that jillgsutton.com / Disney, and there's that little PayPal link. And anyone else can donate too. It doesn't have to only be guests on the show.
Awesome. Good to know.
Yeah. When I read that about Toy Story, I couldn't believe, I was like, was that really the origination of Pixar? Like, right. I didn't know that was the first one.
It makes me feel a little old because I thought there was some before that.
I know, that's what I was kind of thinking too. I was like, there wasn't something like, it wasn't around before. Like that was literally like the first movie. So that's kind of cool.
It's a classic, I guess it is. So
it really is. And I mean, now that they have Toy Story Land, like,
oh yeah,
that's so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it is. And the new Woody's Roundup barbecue too. It's just on our list for whenever we go again. That looks really fun.
That will be on.
That's probably one of the best themed lands. I think you really feel like you're a toy.
And it, again, Disney doesn't like miss any detail. So it's like when you're in there, it's literally like floor to ceiling, or even outside. Like everything is to size and to scale and makes you feel like your toy. It's so amazing. My girls love that. I love that land.
Yeah. Yep. It's colorful, and
I think to be able to go from like there to then like Galaxy's Edge is like so different and just kind of fun too. Like to pop out of like Galaxy's Edge and all of a sudden you're seeing all these blocks stacked on top of each other and army soldiers and stuff like that. It's just fun.
Yeah. It's like the perfect example of, I think, how Disney's just, it could be for everyone. I mean, you got your hardcore Star Wars fans, one of which is my husband. And then you have something for your little ones in Toy Story Land, and they're just a 5-minute walk away. So
yeah, so cool. Do you have any trips planned?
So we are going to do our first Disney cruise in August. We're going to go on the Wish, and we are bookending it with a night before and after in Disney World. And actually, the night that we come back, we're going to do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which will be a first for us. Very excited to try that out. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I love Disney decorated for Halloween and fall. So really, really looking forward to that.
I would love to hear from you when you get back, because we're actually going on a cruise in September, not on the Wish, but on the Magic. Okay. Yeah, our first Disney cruise.
Nice.
And it is the Halloween on the High Seas. And I have not done any after dark parties because of the kids' ages. So I'm really curious to see how they do, because we're always
I know.
Do we do the Christmas party? No, not yet. We'll wait. We'll save our money. We'll wait till they can stay up and really we can like go until it closes. But Yes, you'll
Yeah,
have to
because
let
it
me know
does
how
run
that
late.
goes.
I will. I wear fingers crossed that, enough candy and sugar keeps them awake.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is nice. We can, with that party, you can get into Magic Kingdom at 4. So we'll be able to, get in a little early and get some stuff done. But just the timing just worked out perfectly. So I was like, because how do you go to Disney and not go to the parks at least one day? So
Yeah,
this
I'm
is a
kind of
good
glad
compromise.
we are flying into Miami instead of
Yeah,
Orlando just for that, because I just don't think we could have
I know.
managed it. We
And
would have
it's
had to
not even
go.
my kids, it's me. It's me. I am the one that's
Right.
like, I have to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My weakness
yes,
is
I'll
if I
definitely let you
hear
know.
anyone else going, I'm like, how do I get down there for a day? How do I say, honey, I'm just gonna
Yep.
fly down or ride down
Yep.
with them and I'll fly back.
Uh-huh.
And like, I
I'm gonna
just
be
am
their
like,
personal
oh,
tour guide.
yes. I'm like, how can I let them go and not go myself?
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
It's a good problem.
It is a good problem. Well, Caroline, where can we find you?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram. I am at Mickey World Travel _Caroline M, and on Facebook, Mickey World Travel Caroline McGinnis are my two platforms where I post all my tips, deals that are going on, and then if you want to look into booking a vacation with me, there's some forms there to fill out.
Excellent. Do you have the link to your forms are on Instagram and Facebook, or is there like a
On
website too?
It's on Facebook. It's just a
Okay.
Google form.
Okay. Excellent. And speaking of deals, you might have a deal for the listeners.
So if you book your vacation with me and you reference the Jack of All Things Disney podcast, you can get a $25 gift card at check-in, and that will be good for bookings through October 2023.
Excellent. Oh, that's going to be so awesome. So anyone that books a Disney vacation with you through that Facebook link and you just reference, is there like a note section that says like Jack of All Things Disney podcast, or just like,
Yes,
where should they put that, you
I'll
think?
put I'll put a note that says, "How did you hear about me?"
Okay,
And,
excellent. So yeah, just
yep.
put Jack of All Things Disney podcast, and any vacation you book from now till October 2023, you'll get a $25 Disney gift card. Is that
Yes,
what it is?
at check-in.
Yep.
Yep.
At check-in. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. That is going to be so fun.
Yes, of course.
Well, Caroline, it's been so wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much. I hope to hear from you at least in September when you get back and maybe well rested.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining today. And a huge thank you to Caroline for coming on the podcast as a guest. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm really thankful for her offer. So once again, you can find her information in the show notes or the description box if you're watching on YouTube. Link to her Facebook account. She has a Google form there for an intake form if you are interested at all in booking a Disney vacation. And just like she said, anyone who books between now and October of 2023, when you check in at your resort, you will have a $25 gift card waiting for you there from her if you mention the Jack of All Things Disney podcast when you sign up with her. So definitely take advantage of that. Oh my goodness, what a fun thing. The next episode that I do is going to be a solo episode all about booking your first Disney cruise. And I'm going to be going through some of the process as far as picking sailing dates, boats, ports, airports and transportation, parking at the port. I don't know all of the things, but I'm just going to go through kind of the things that you're going to need to look into. And if you have any questions, go ahead and get on my Instagram, Jack of All Things Disney, and send me some questions. And that way, when I go to record, I can make sure I include those questions in the episode. You can also send those questions to me on YouTube at Jack of All Things Disney as well. Just drop them down in the comments below on this video, and I will find them and I will answer them in the next episode. So stay tuned, be well, and hope that this podcast just brought you a little bit of joy in your day.